just keeps telling me the stuff. Okay. Good morning, everybody. This is Saturday morning with a side of tech, and I have the pleasure to have with me this morning Mr. Kevin, the tech ninja. You know, the ninja himself is with us in the from his dojo, of course. He's joining us. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, TK, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's been a while since I've seen you. Actually, it's been almost a year.
Yeah.
So I saw each other for actually officially the first time in January. We ran into each other at CES, and I gotta stop looking to the right on my screen because the camera's up there because it looks like I'm talking to you on the right. But
yeah, I'm always confused with that. I never know what to look at. So
you gotta look at that's true. So thank you for joining us this morning. I'm very happy to have you join us. And first thing I want to say is I've been a longtime fan. Obviously, we worked together again on XDA for some time, and if people don't know, you did a lot of good content. You started the exposed videos on XDA way before I even did any series on that. You start talking about expose, Tasker, and all different things. So, we have some hacking, capabilities within your repertoire right there. So it's good. And so I want to say definitely one of the things that I admire about your style, your delivery of messages or your videos is your style. So can you maybe, give us a little bit of background on how did Kevin become the tech ninja? I guess maybe that's a good way to start.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I do appreciate the kind words, man. It really, I never feel different when someone says they appreciate my work. It makes me feel good because my number one goal is to create a conversation. I want it to be like two buddies hanging out on the couch eating Buffalo Wild Wings and just have a conversation about tech or whatever. Because I always talk about tech with my friends. This is the only difference is I'm hitting record this time. If there wasn't a camera nearby, I'd be having the same conversations. And I guess my style is just sort of that. It's just kind of relaxed, laid back, not worried about too much stuff and just having a good time. Because there's plenty of people real professional with a suit and tie on and, want to make sure everything's perfect. But I'm like, you know what? Number one, I don't have time to edit that hard. And number two, I just want to be natural. And I think people appreciate someone being genuine and natural on camera. The way the Tech Ninja came about, it's kind of a twofold story. One, when I was super young, I think 4th or 5th grade or whatever, we were doing trick or treat at school. And my older brother, by 7 years, talked me into being a cell phone because he thought it was funny. He told me it's the coolest outfit. All the big kids are wearing it and everything like that. So I was a cell phone for Halloween. And of course, if you're in 3rd and 4th grade, you come as a cell phone, people make fun of you. So people were making fun of me and all that stuff. And I cried, called my mom and said, "Mom, you need to help me. Kids are making fun of me." So bless my mom's heart. She grabbed one of my karate outfits and put it over the cell phone. And I was like the tech ninja back then. But it came to a head again when I was at my first job, my first real job, I guess. And we made a video about why we love working we worked at. Well, I worked on the help desk. And the joke was every time someone called, their issue was fixed. So we must have technology ninjas hiding under their desk. And we did a little skit. Of course, I was the technology ninja, of course. So that's sort of how it came about.
You're the reason that whenever something is wrong and some people call tech support, it always fixes itself. I like that. Hey, that's a good one. Yeah, it's an actual natural phenomenon. It happens all the time. Happens to me with my mechanic all the time whenever I go take my car. So I go in there and the car works. There's no more noise. And he's like, "I have no idea what's wrong with your car, sir."
Yeah.
And I go back home looking like I have no idea what I'm doing. But
and then the second you turn away, it happens again. You're like, no,
exactly. It never fails. It's like there's something in the car, almost like the VW, programming into the car, telling it, "Hey, you're being tested. Give better emissions." So
yeah,
that's a big debacle on its own. We'll cover that on a different episode. But for me, basically, just the delivery, the style that you said, and again, I only stated it because it's from my perspective at least, is it does feel like you're talking to somebody. You are conversing with somebody and letting them know what you're doing. Even when you were doing it just from your old place, and I know you obviously your setup is upgraded. You're doing a lot better this time, and definitely the fans are appreciating it. And I saw your video with the drones and the boosted board and those
Rocket skates.
the rocket skates. That one is
Yeah.
yeah, that takes a lot to make that look really good. It's an interesting thing. So I signed up for Sprout Up actually because of you. So I'm hoping to see if anything comes up from that. The one thing I was going to say is I saw recently you posted on Twitter that your S6 Edge Plus, that's a long title to go.
Yeah, I know.
Hit the ground. So did you get a chance to fix it, or are you still is that still your daily driver, or have you switched over to another?
It's right here.
Oh, wow.
Right here, baby. I'm still using it. I'm
that
too
hurts.
Yeah,
that hurts. It just hurts looking at it.
I'm being super lazy, and I haven't called it in yet because I do have insurance on it. Thank God.
Good. Yeah.
And I'm being just stupid lazy about it. So, I mean, it is what it is. It didn't actually hit the ground. Thankfully, what actually happened was I was doing a tailgate for the Lions game.
Yeah. No. I remember.
Yeah,
I remember when you tweeted it. Yeah.
It was actually wedged between the tailgate and the flatbed of the truck.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't see it there, and I closed it and smashed the phone basically. So
wow.
that's what happened. And, I'm surprised I wasn't as mad as I thought it would be. It's my first time cracking a screen on a phone this bad ever.
Yeah, I've only done it once before, and mine was not as slow as that. No, mine flew off a car and landed on the street. It was a Note 3 about a year or so ago. That was just painful. But yeah, on that one I had to replace it. The screen was pretty badly damaged, and you couldn't touch it. The screen protector, shattered. One of those tempered glass ones are actually worse when they crack. But
wow.
So what's your daily driver now? I guess this would be it.
Yeah, it's between this and the 6S Plus iPhone.
So how's that going for you? That's something new. I was intrigued by the video you put out for obviously that the expansion of the skill set you'd like, when you're going into iOS.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was talking to your fans and telling them, look, I'm still an Android guy, still do Android, but you got to look at the other side. You got to look at Apple. Of course. And so I've said many times that I was going to try to go pick up an iOS device, but Android keeps me busy. Of course. If I do pick up an Android device, I may end up being a work device. So I do carry 2 devices on a daily basis. I don't usually carry just one. So I guess how has that been for you? For I guess you've had it for a few months now.
Yeah, I had it as soon as it came out. So here's kind of my rationale is that I'm sort of painted into a box right now because everyone's known me from Android. XDA did Android Authority obviously was Android. So I've always been this Android guy, and I'm cool with that. I love Android, but at the same time, there's more to me than just Android. So I want to start covering general technology and anything basically. So I felt like I wouldn't be doing my subscribers justice if I wasn't really looking at everything. So I decided to get an iPhone just because of that. I do like the iPhone. There's definitely some good things going for it, and there's some things that I don't like about it. There's a couple things in there that will stop it from making it a daily driver for me. Like if I had to have one phone, I would not have an iPhone. I would have an Android-based phone. Just some simple things, like if you're playing music and you go into an app like Facebook or Instagram that has videos, the music stops.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I can't browse Instagram and listen to music at the same time, period. Because Facebook and Instagram has the potential to play music.
That's true. They try to capture it because the video, it loads even though it doesn't have audio on it.
So
it tries to capture the audio. Yeah.
Stuff like that. That's a huge problem for me. Because I'm always listening to music. Like I always have Bluetooth earbuds in, or I have something plugged in. I mean, that's what I do. And also the lack of share menu. Like if I see something online or see something somewhere and I go to share, I only have options to copy link, Twitter, Facebook, or something else. Like I can't, all my apps don't show up in there. So there's no Hangouts in there. It's just that right there. It makes everything an extra process, extra step. And obviously the home screen, you can't get rid of icons. You have all your icons out there. So you have to flip through pages of icons or do a search. And you know, I prefer like a home, like a clean home screen, clean layout. So
it's part of the customization, but I guess that's what makes each platform unique. Is this your first iPhone use, or have you tried them before, back in the earlier generations?
yeah, I owned an iPhone 2007,
Oh, okay. So
and
like that was
then
the 3GS? No.
3G. It was a 3G.
Yeah.
And then
I've tried the 3GS before. That was, I think, about
yeah,
the extent of my usage.
yeah, and then 2008 when that Droid commercial, that Droid Does commercial,
Ah,
it was like,
yes.
I don't take low light photos. I don't have a flash. I can't multitask. Droid does. I'm like, oh, I want that. I want that. So, and it's sad. That was like the last really good Android commercial. Was like one of their first ones, which is the dumbest thing ever.
Verizon, if nothing else, could be credited for popularizing the Droid term. Uh, to this day, I have people calling my devices like, "Is that a Droid? Yeah, you have the Droid, right?" I'm like, "It's an Android device. Droid is just a brand. It just means you have a Verizon phone. That's all that means."
Yeah, they don't want to hear that. It makes too much sense.
No, it is. It's one of those things. And I don't know if you've heard, there's supposed to be a new Droid. I forget the name. I think it was a Droid Max. That's supposed to be Droid Max 2 coming out.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming out in the near future. Not that we're trying to advertise anything. Speaking of droids, they're coming out. So at least for me, on my daily drivers right now, I'm running the Note 5, which I was surprised. So I got the Note 5 mostly because I carry Note devices all the time. I've used my Nexus 6 since it came out last year, and I guess it's 90% of my production because I do a lot of videos for XDA, as you know. So the Note 5 surprised me, and I'm pleasantly surprised. TouchWiz is much better implementation on it, but it's the camera. The camera itself on this device is ridiculous. And then, of course, my Nexus 6, my work device kind of changes on a daily basis. I had that as a OnePlus 2, Nexus 6. I'm sure, you know, when you're testing a device or when you get new phones, you test them out and you swap the, you know, devices all the time. So
Definitely.
It's one of those things, and not to bring any frustrations, but I realized not so long ago you were frustrated with, you know, the Google, I guess the deauthorization process for Google Music.
Yeah.
And I know you switched over to Spotify. Has it been good? How do you like Spotify over Google Play?
I love it. You know, Google just announced that they'll get rid of the deauthorization stuff, but I don't care anymore because I think Spotify is just a superior platform in every way. There's more things on Spotify than Google Play. I mean, there's mixtapes and things like that, not just full albums. You get like Spotify exclusive stuff too. Like, I mean, it's a lot better. Their Discover mode, where it picks out songs that you would like, is spot on. Like, it was like dead on. I was finding a lot of stuff, and you could subscribe to an artist so when they post new stuff, it notifies you first. I mean,
oh wow,
you can,
yeah, no, those are.
I mean, you can do. I mean, it's a lot of things, and it's social too. So a lot of your friends, like your Facebook friends or what have you, you can see what they're playing. You can listen in on what they're listening to, and you can share songs back and forth with them. I mean, and you can literally pick up where you left off on a different device. So if I'm playing it on my computer, I go to my phone, it'll say that I'm currently playing on my computer. I can press play, and then it takes over that computer session, put it on my phone, the exact same spot of the song.
Wow.
So I mean,
I didn't.
Yeah.
I gotta try Spotify again.
Dude,
I honestly just remember Spotify from the original days, like, you know, just
man, it's different, man. It's new, and you get playlists on there that were created by people or whatever. But like like certain video games that I like a couple indie games that I like, they have their own playlists on there where I can listen to the songs within the game, and just, I mean, it's a lot of stuff Spotify has, and I think it's just an overall better experience, more polished than Google Play Music. So
you gotta check it out. Yeah, no, I've been with Google Play mostly because, well, I mean, we signed up back in the old days when it was $7.99, and I just never canceled it, kind of. So it's one of those price over competition. Most people now are like around 10, but the ability to pick up from one device to the other has always driven me crazy because, yeah, you're right. I listen to music when I'm at the office, and by the time I get in my car, I have to start a whole new, you know, unless I want to listen to my phone at the office, it kind of just kills the whole experience of going from one device to the other. You have to keep it consistent. It's almost like holding a CD player. You have to be able to just listen to that same song. Yeah. So okay, we'll check it out. Do you use it a lot when you go to the gym? I know you're. I've seen the posts from the gym.
I've
done a few myself. Yeah, the games video. So
Yeah.
how's your setup at the gym? Do you use your Android device? Do you use iOS? Do you have
Yeah.
any recommendations for people that like to use their device at the gym?
Yeah. So actually, usually I take well, as of late, I've been taking the iPhone since my S6 is smashed. I really can't see the screen that well. But normally I just take, whatever my main phone is, usually my S6 Edge Plus or whatever. I listen to Spotify. I have a workout playlist that I have on there. And I also have a couple of workout playlists that Spotify made. I'm not a runner. Like I'll run on the treadmill for 20 minutes to get a cardio in, but I'm not like you, like, oh, I'm running 10 miles today. Like I'm not cut out for that life. But on Spotify, they have a music section. I mean, they have a running section where the BPMs will match the pace you're running.
Oh, wow.
It has that built in. So I tried that out a bit. It's pretty cool because I do high intensity interval training. So I'll do I'll walk a minute, then run a minute, I'll do that, whatever. And that's pretty cool because I'm running and they got some like crazy and then I start walking. It's like real chill, mellow, and stuff like that. So I do that, and then I use JetFit as well as an app where you can sort of like keep track of your reps and keep track of your actual workout plan. Because I log my workouts to get an idea of what I'm doing and what weight I should be at and stuff. So I do that too. So I'm logging and I'm working out and all that stuff too. So, and I put my phone on do not disturb mode because I don't want like messages coming in and stuff. That gets so distracting. I was like, you know what? For an hour, I can be disconnected. Even though it's really tough for me to be disconnected, but for an hour, like I can do it. It's tough though.
I understand. I forget sometimes to put it on the do not disturb, and yes, in the middle of my runs. So, as you stated correctly, I do enjoy running. I picked up the bug in my early 20s, and I don't know what it was, but I do enjoy long distance running. I find it kind of easy to explain. It's kind of like being in your own zone, and just helps you kind of focus and calm down and release all the stress that you have on a daily basis. And speaking of running, just not trying to plug it in, but I'll be actually going to. I have a gladiator run that's in about a couple hours. Going to it's a short one, not a big run, but a lot of challenges. If you've ever done a mud run before, or heard of it one,
I've heard of it.
So that's my thing. I'm going to go torture myself for a good 45 minutes.
Nice.
In some mud, and so we'll see how that go. I don't know. I'm a little anxious, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, no, for me, I use, for the gym at least, I use my regular device, whichever happens to be my main one. It drove me crazy when I got my last OnePlus 2 because I did have to call Google, and I'm like, look, I review devices. I look at I change more phones than your average person. You can't keep deauthorized. I mean, I couldn't add my OnePlus 2. I couldn't use it. I couldn't figure out. I couldn't see how the quality of the audio. I mean, playing YouTube videos is fine, but you have to be able to play music. Of course. Audio music, good, and anyway, so they were able to let me do it, but they made me feel like I owed them a favor or something. And then, of course, I saw it yesterday or the day before. I forgot. Now they whitelist people, so they realized it made no sense. But I use Runtastic for my run stats, so that helps me keep it between devices. And I do actually depend on what I'm using. I'll use either Android Wear or Samsung. Samsung's actually pretty good lately with their S2. Their watches, it really performs well. I like it. I don't like it 100%, but I still like my Huawei watch. But the S2, I was surprised. They did a good job on it. Wish it was compatible with iOS as well, so it would have a much better spectrum of usage. But definitely a very nice device. And then headphones, and just go outside, enjoy whatever's out there. And then I still do some weights, but that's mostly just for tone, I guess, not necessarily for muscle gain for me. And then it's good. No, I like it. So the X thing I was going to ask you, actually, which I was surprised, have you seen the V10? Have you heard anything about that new LG? A lot of people are getting it. I haven't been able to get my hands on it yet, but
sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm just the reason I'm wondering is LG's trying to throw more more devices at people after the LG G4, which was some people would say it's one of their biggest success as a device because of their camera. And the V10 is the successor. A lot of people are looking at it. Have you Have you thought about it? Seen anything on it? Have you had access to it? I guess maybe that'd be better to start off that way.
Yeah, yeah. No, actually, I haven't used the V10 at all. I'm at the I don't know. Like for some reason, for me, like nothing got me excited about the V10. I just felt like they're throwing specs at it, throwing cameras at it, throwing extra stuff at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel if you make a good phone, the phone stands on its own, and it's a great thing. I think when you start throwing these extra bells and whistles in there just for the sake of doing it, you're trying to compensate for something else that it's lacking. And, you know, I mean, the camera's good. LG makes great cameras, but so does my Samsung, so does Apple. I mean, it's more than just a great camera nowadays. Like, great camera, good stuff, but you need something else. Like, LG's still using their software on top of Android, which is still a problem.
It's
And,
basically a mess.
And you know, LG has a problem with longevity of phones too, because I mean the G3, a lot of people, you see a lot of G3s on Swappa, a lot of G3s. Like for some reason, people don't hang on to their phones that much. They don't hang on to their G3s and G4s and, you know, phones that often anymore. So I'm not sure why. Like when I reviewed the G4, I don't know, I wasn't like in love with it. Like it still felt cheap. It still felt like a cheap phone. And I don't know.
It's one of those. Their marketing is it's hard to explain it, but the easy way to explain it would be you're right. It feels like it's missing something. The experience isn't there correctly. To say you have a great camera, you can take pictures. That's one thing. But the other thing, you're right. The UI needs a lot of work. And we're not talking just making it look pretty, but making it functional. That's one thing that drove me away with the G4. I had it for review, and I had the T-Mobile version, so it was already carrier specific. I had LTE, all of that good stuff. But what drove me away from it was truly the experience, the inconsistency of the way the flow of work goes through, and the overall. I just didn't get that experience like the way, you know. I still like my Nexus 6, and that's where I left it for. I went back to my Nexus 6. So overall, I think. It's, you know, V10 may be a gimmick. I think just as you said, throwing specs, a second screen on your display is nothing really new. And it's something you'll use for the first couple of days, but maybe after that, it'll just end up being something there. And then, so obviously, if I'm not going to try to pin you in a corner, but say, if you had to pick between the iPhone 6s Plus and the S6s Plus, that's a tough one. The S6s Plus or the iPhone 6s Plus, would you pick one over the other if you had to pick one and there was no issues with the screen on one? Yeah,
well, for me, it'd be the S6 Edge Plus. And that's just my personal usage, but it depends on the person. I think most people can use an iPhone device and they don't have an issue with it and they'll love it. And I think a lot of people can use an Android phone and not have an issue and love it. But I know my needs are different than most people's.
That's true.
So Android is going to be like my number one thing that I have to use, just because all the extra options I have and the extra things I can do. I don't feel trapped in this sandbox that you do with iOS. Now the differences aren't as strong as it used to be, because it used to be like a huge difference. Now, I mean, they're really almost the same now. But the differences that are still there with Android, the advantages that Android has, are totally worth it for me.
Definitely. And so from a day-to-day, I guess, experience, your daily, when you're testing, I guess, your devices, is it what's your typical actually day of usage? For me, I guess mine starts, as we've already kind of discussed before the video started, but mine starts around like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning when I pick up my phone off the charger. What's a typical day for the Tech Ninja, I guess, between, you know, all the stuff you do?
Yeah, probably around 6 I get up. I get up around 6, and then I'm gonna sound like an old man, but for about 30 minutes I stretch and watch the news. So about 30 minutes I'm like doing, like, you know, yoga poses and stuff. Just trying to stay loose, man, because I don't know what happened to me, man, but somewhere between 21 and now at 28, something happened where I get sore, I get stiff. Like right now I have a big massage thing on right now on my back.
Oh, okay.
Because I get stiff, I get stuck, and I get in weird positions. So I try to stretch in the morning, try to stay hydrated, try to drink water. So for about the first 30 minutes, I have my phone off the charger. I may be playing music. It depends. Like if it's something good on the news, I'll watch the news. But if it's just junk, whatever, I'll play music. and then I get to work around 7:30, and from there, I don't touch my phone often, but like I do a lot of hangouts. Like hangouts is my #1 way to chat, and so my phone is getting notifications through hangouts all day long. And then around 4:30 is when I go to the gym, and then I'm pretty much on my phone for that whole hour doing something, whether it's playing music or tracking my workout and things like that. And then around 5:30, I'm at home and not on the phone that much. So I do about 3 hours of screen on time a day. And that's during the week, whatever. So I'm not a freaking heavy user. So like for me, I expect my phone to last when I get up to when I go to bed. Like that's a requirement to me.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And people are like, oh, why don't you charge it at work? I'm like, I shouldn't have to though. Like I don't plug my phone in at work because, you know, if you keep your phone plugged in the whole day, it's actually not good for the battery. So I don't plug in my phone too much. I only plug it in when it needs to be charged. So that's why I love the OnePlus One, and I use that phone over a year because that phone's battery life was that good. I mean, I can literally do 20 hours and 6 hours of screen on time. And that was for me. Like I'm not getting the battery life that other people are getting on their Edges and Notes. I'm not getting that same battery life. And I can't figure out why. I mean, I'm seeing people that I know that uses their phone consistently getting 7 hours of screen on time. I've seen the screenshots, and I know their usage. Like I really know their usage.
I followed the same gentleman that was posting the 5 hour plus screen on time on his Note 5.
Yeah, James, and you know what? I know his usage. Like he's legit. Like he does watch a ton of YouTube, ton of Netflix, and he's chatting to me all day. And he's getting 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours of screen on time, and I'm not getting that. But I'm getting enough on my S6 Edge. By the time I go to bed, it's at like 30%, which I'm okay with. And I need to know a phone can last that long, because when I'm like during the weekends, when I'm not near a charger for hours and hours, I want to be sure that my phone's dependable and I can pick it up and use it. And I have to worry about chargers and portable power banks and stuff, you know?
The land of portable power banks. They've actually become kind of like the thing you get, that little surprise in the box of cereals in the morning. You get a power bank now. That's how there's so many in the market itself. But that's actually, maybe it's a good segue for us to talk a little bit about how Marshmallow is coming out, and supposedly with those, you're going to be getting a much better experience when your device isn't being used for a long time, and it recognizes that. So it's built into the OS now. Have you had any time, or have you tried using Marshmallow at all? Have you any devices that have received it?
Actually, I do not have a Nexus at all right now. So I do not have Marshmallow, but I did order the 6P. So when I get the 6P, I'll have Marshmallow, and I'm excited about that.
I did the same. Yeah, I'm waiting on mine. Still pending.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Project Dose seems like a really cool idea. It's something that iOS has had for a while now. And excuse me, I'm super excited about that because, you know, when you're not using your phone, you don't need messages to get pushed through instantly. I mean, if I haven't touched my phone in an hour and it takes 2 minutes for a Hangout message to come through on my phone, I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah, and you won't even know it, really. In the reality, unless you're actively engaging the other person, which at that point you do want instant. There's really, it's a Hangout message. When you send it to somebody that's not online, you don't expect them to answer right away. Almost surprised if they do, kind of one of those things. But I'm excited about that. I still think Project Doze is behind Apple still, and people go, oh, you're a fanboy. But I mean, if you think about it, if you can have an iPad off the charger for like months, literally, and then you unlock that bad boy, and it's like 60% battery still. I mean, and it still gets messages. Like it's not, because I've had that happen to me before, where I had like my iPad in a drawer or something, and suddenly I hear a ding, like, the heck? I grab like, whoa, this thing's still on, man. I just got an email on there. Like, you know, I'm not sure how often it wakes up, maybe every couple hours, or I don't know what, but no, it's you know, they're still behind Apple when it comes to that much, as far as they're saying Doze increases standby 2 times. Well, that's still behind Apple, but it's a great start though, and I'm super pumped about it. I tried it out a little bit on my Nexus 6. I did at the OTA. Well, I flashed the firmware actually on it. And I went back to Lollipop mostly because of Exposed, because I need to be able to use Exposed framework and modifications. I'm hoping we'll have Exposed fully running on Marshmallow, but we'll see. Yeah, it's a good feature. It's hard to gauge without using the device for a few days to see if it's really giving you a lot longer battery. But overall, I think the fact is with Android, if anything else, it's really the Google Play services. If you want a great great longevity on the battery on your device, don't install the Google Play Store. Don't install Gmail. Don't install any of the framework that. I'm not saying anything against them. I'm just explaining why your device is up. If you go into your system and you check the usage, if you have wake lock detector or anything, it's sync, it's email, it's contacts, it's libraries, and all those other things that, if you really think about it, there's so many things, and hopefully those will fix that. So we'll see that. And like I said, I'm waiting for my 6P as well. I opted for the 128 gig this time just because I made the mistake on the Nexus 6, and I went with a 32 because I couldn't get the 64. And so when you mod the device, when you do backups, titanium backups, or you even just do an Android backup, you eat up that space, and you don't really have 32 gigs, right? So I've consistently had to back up stuff off my device so that I can keep it running without filling it up. So it's it bugged me. So I said I learned my lesson. So if I'm going to get it and they give you an option high, I will go for the high, because the Nexus 6, the Nexus 6P will be my driver for at least a year. Yeah. I try to consistently stick with the Nexuses or the Nexis, and then over the that's a new term. I picked it up only when they announced it with the AMA, when they started saying it's like the Nexi. I'm like, really?
Nexi,
So now there's a plural of Nexus. And that's what's also exciting me about next week too. I'm going to the big Android barbecue, which is basically Android heaven. I call it Google I/O without all the other part. It's just basically Android. It doesn't talk Chrome. It doesn't talk anything else. And it has some OEMs. I'm thinking this year we have Oppo that's going to be showing up, and have some other companies as well. I think Facebook is showing up, which is interesting as well. Wow. Yeah. Cool. Wasn't sure why, but I guess it's one of those. I mean, they're big. Obviously, Android users are a big market for them as well. It's no longer this little tiny thing. But so Marshmallow, hopefully we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to some coverage from everybody, and again, root videos and all that other stuff. Mods will be the things. If you had to, maybe the easy way to say it, if you had to categorize maybe 5 features or 3 features that you need to have in a device for you to be able to say, this can be my daily driver, what would you say that, what would that list look like?
Yeah. All day battery life, premium design. So whether it's metal or it's glass or whatever, like I want to feel like I've got my money's worth when the phone's in my hand. I need a large screen, 5.5 or higher. Nearly stock Android. I know I'm not gonna get stock Android, but something that's close to being stock Android, and just an overall, at least the latest flagship specs. It doesn't need to be leading, but at least the current crop of flagship specs that's on there. So whether it's a 812 processor or what have you, 3 gigabytes of RAM, I'm okay with. So I think that's pretty much what I want in a phone, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, no, I mirror that. The list itself, of course, battery performance is always going to be a thing, and I'm hearing rumors, or I'm starting to see things also about the Qualcomm 830 chip that's coming out. I mean, the 820 is not out, but they're talking about 30 already.
Wow.
And yeah, and you're right. The software itself, sometimes I wonder if when people say I like stock Android, do they like stock Android because they can modify? Because stock Android doesn't get modified. You don't have customization to the level. You can't change your icon pack on stock Android. You have to install a secondary launcher. To do it on stock Android, you'd have to install Expose. You'd have to get root. So my experience with using stock Android on my Nexus 6 is really a customized version. It's a custom launcher. It's Expose modules. The ability to swipe down to bring down the notification panel for me, I think should have been a baked-in feature in every OS that we've seen from Android come out. But it's not. You have to install a secondary launcher. 5.5 or bigger displays, it's almost hard for us to go all the way to the top to bring down our notification shade. So it's one of those little, pet peeves for me. I wish it would be just built in.
Yeah.
Is there 3 things that maybe you don't like necessarily that you always try to stay away from a device? Maybe the opposite version of that, the other list?
Yeah.
Maybe like a lack of NFC. Would that be it? Would
Oh
that be
yeah.
driving away that? Because that for me was a big. It took me a
Yeah.
while to learn that the OnePlus 2 wasn't my device because I had it for literally over like almost a couple of months, and that drove me out. That was hard.
Yeah, definitely lack of NFC, lack of wireless charging is sort of a big deal to me because I have wireless chargers. I have them in my office. I have them at
Mhm.
home. I like to utilize them because it's it's more convenient to me. I have a tilt at home. I have a tilt in my office and just set my phone down at night and to pick it up when I'm done. Like it's cool to me. I know it's not the fastest charging, but I use it for like a long charge. Like if I'm going to charge it or if I'm at work, I want to set my phone down the charger, I just set it down there and forget about it and pick it up when I need it, you know? So and I'm about driving technology. When you take away features that may not be all the way ready yet, then it's like you're stopping innovation. Like you're holding back the progress of this piece of hardware or this technology. So that sort of bothers me a bit. And I hate rear speakers, like speakers on the back of the phone. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
why are you at the bottom of the phone I hate them too, but phones are doing them, so I can't escape that. But like even this with on the bottom of the phone, when I'm playing a game, I'm covering it up. Like this is the worst place to have a speaker. Like I think every phone should have front-facing speakers. I know it's easier said than done, but that's what I wish.
No, I mirror that as well, and yeah, you're right. It drives me crazy because over the years, I mean, if they've listened to any recommendation, any feedback from any user, why would you still put the LG G4 did the same thing? They put it in the back. I'm like, why? What does that make? How did that make sense to the designer? Let me put great audio. Let me try to boost it, and then we'll make a big deal about it at the announcement thing. But then put them in the back. It's like, so you're saying people put their device on the table for it to echo backwards for us to be able to hear it? Is that so?
Makes no
It's a
sense.
design thing, and but I'm liking the fact that I'm not sure about the 5X, but I think the 6P has front-facing speakers. Most of Motorola devices now are front-facing speakers, as well as HTC. I think HTC started a good trend with boom sound. It's a hard it's one of those things that the people I think still haven't really managed to surpass. I think HTC still holds the standard when it comes to front-facing speakers.
Mhm.
Their sound quality is just high end right there. The camera is getting there. It's getting almost getting into that point. But the sound quality on an HTC device, you're getting good music, especially if you just
Yeah.
want to listen to it, or you're on the bus, or you're just sitting there. You don't want to have headphones in and stuff. It's definitely very nice. Um, the other thing I wanted to actually check with you, I guess lately I've noticed that you're putting out more content that are not mobile
Uh-huh.
specifically.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not gonna say all the finesse stuff, but let's talk about that. The drone video that you were doing with your friend. I think you periscoped the filming of it,
Mhm.
and then you put it out as a video. How does that been for you working with non-tech? I mean, well, non-mobile
Yeah.
tech, different tech.
Well, I've always been into all things technology. So that's it's nothing new for me. It's just this is my first time I've been on my own where I have like complete creative control over what I want to do.
Hmm.
So as I tell my audience, like, hey, I'm a technology guy. I'm not just an Android guy. Android is my phone. Android is my calling card. You guys know me as Android, but odds are if you like Android, you like technology too. So, I'm sure you guys would enjoy it. And, some people do, some people don't, but it's like I make content that I would love to watch. And I think that's the important thing, staying true to yourself. And me being true to myself is watching technology that I want to make and stuff that interests me. Like, hey, this is super cool. Let me review it. You know what I mean? Like that that's my look of it. And I think some people do enjoy that. So
Yeah, definitely. I think I've seen definitely the boosted board one is it's a unique product. It's just it looks like it's a lot of fun, and once you get it and you're able to just go for a good distance on it, I think a lot of people call it like I feel like I'm Marty McFly. I'm on the hoverboard, man. I'm just on it and I'm going and going and going. So hopefully one of these days I'll be able to get my hands on one of those and just to check it out. Even just to check it out, I'm okay with checking it out. I don't have to buy one. I don't have to keep it because I'm sure I'll hurt myself at some point.
yeah.
It's one of those you're gonna fall. It's like
Yeah.
saying you're gonna go ski or snowboard.
Yeah.
You're gonna fall.
Hey,
So
you
do
know
it.
what? You know what? I went skiing twice and I have not fell. Only time I hit the deck or hit the snow was when I was going and I couldn't stop yet. Like I didn't. and I didn't feel comfortable stopping. It was like a group of kids.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, either I kill the kids, what I want to do, or I'm gonna go ahead and hit this barrel roll this way. So I slowed down, and I wasn't slowing down fast enough. I was trying to wedge. I was wedging it out. I couldn't slow down, so I kind of just did like a little roll or whatever, and got up. So, and you know, that's the funny thing. Like I do have good balance. Like I'm not worried about like balancing issues because, you know, when I was younger, I used to skate. I used to roller skate. I used to ice skate when I was younger and stuff. I used to play hockey. And, you know, I'm fine with that. And I can pick up most things. But for some reason, the rocket skates, I felt silly on those things, man. I couldn't do it because you kick off and then it takes a second, then the motors kick in. And your initial reaction, for some reason, is to lean back. Like that's your initial reaction, to lean back. Get on your back foot. But if you do that, you're going to fly backwards. So you have to lean forward on your back foot like this. I don't know, it's tough. The boosted board, that was the only clip where I fell. And the Ash Taylor, the guy who edited the video, he used that clip of me falling. And I mean, I don't care. It's funny, but he put that right in the beginning.
It makes for good content. Honestly, it made it look real because it didn't make it look like hey man, I got on boosted board and I own it. No, the reality of the matter is there's a lot. Video editing could do so much, and Ash is extremely talented. I am not even getting close to that. His videos are sick. But you know, if you guys are watching this later on, check it out. Please check out Ash Taylor. Very, very, very talented YouTuber. Especially his last video with the wireless charger, that just killed me right there.
Dude,
that drop at the beginning was just like, what?
Yeah. He did the video on the wireless table, like the wireless charger. And I have the table. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
What do I do?
What do I do?
Picture of the table. Just watch Ash's video.
I don't know what to do. I think I'm gonna like have my phone charging on it while playing Ash's video. And like this is everything you need to know about the wireless charging table, and put Ash's video and just have it on the table and show it.
That would be a sick video. Just showing you getting on a couch, sitting down, putting your phone down, showing it charging, and now let's watch the video. Yeah,
and watch Ash's video. I'm seriously gonna do that because I don't know what to do with this video. Like I'm so confused right now. So, and I mean, you know, Ash has this unique skill about him where he can just he can literally make everything just look good. And he's so humble about it, and it pisses me off. I'm like, Ash, you need to say, you know what? I know I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm the man. Like he needs to do that sometime. He's too humble about things, man. I'm like, what are you doing? Because we have the same gear pretty much, and his stuff just looks way better than mine. I'm like, what did you do? Oh, I don't know, just a perfect day. You know, I don't know, just things came out good. I just kind of shot it. I'm like, no, man, you're holding out. And I think deep down inside, he's holding out. He doesn't want people to get on his level. So he's tucking in his back pocket. And inside, he's like, he has the mustache. And he's laughing out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and but you know, definitely he definitely has a big future in this field, and his cinematics are amazing. You can definitely see the skill, and you know, again, you two have, it's a different level. And a lot of people maybe not know this or not, but I actually ask Kevin, you obviously, a lot of questions. You started with XDA, and your level of experience with using video editing and experience of, you know, cut shots and so on were much better than where I was, and I've in a way tried to improve my level, you know, switching over to Premiere, just trying to use better tools. And you know, just even sliders, doing different cuts, B-rolls, especially a lot of B-roll, kind of work on that. So it's one of those things that you always kind of, you know, enjoy. And so again, credit to Ash for making that video look good. And you know, obviously you're still the talent people like to see and see the different things you're experiencing. And I think the Scope Squad, if anything else, I think it's been picking up really good.
Yeah.
That, you know, those the Periscope things. If you guys are not, if you're watching later and you don't know, please check out Kevin's Periscope. Every once in a while you'll see him just for no, you know, just show up, you know, talking about people and having quick, you know, unboxings or slick wraps and checking out different things. A little behind the scenes that you don't get to see in video. So that's one thing I like. It's the Periscope gives you that instant access, live feed. It's way better than the way YouTube's trying to do it, at least with the Note 5 and the way they're trying to do that whole live streaming, because you can't really customize it. You can maybe fix the title a little bit, but I don't think you can really
You can't read
It's not,
comments.
yeah, that's what I say. It's not engaging. It's a one-way conversation. So
yeah, it kills me. I'm like, what? Like I was pumped about it, and then I'm like, I can't read comments. Like I have to read them on a different
on a
phone, and
computer,
then
exactly.
yeah, like
You'd have to. It's like no, that killed it. So. But definitely Periscope, it's picking up. It's becoming the next big thing. Obviously, since if you're on Twitter, you pretty much have Periscope. You just have to install the app. It's definitely a very nice thing. The only thing, one question that we did have that came in from Rairo Zaizo, he's another XDA producer. It's an interesting question as far as features and the way they're built into Android and the polish level. I guess some of the things example would be those, because we already kind of covered it. It talks about basically, how do we feel about the fact that Android always keeps to put in features, but they don't polish them as well as by the time they go on iOS, they're polished, they're ready to be used. And is that going to be an issue for Android, or has it been an issue in your opinion for a while, that Android just keeps putting out features but not fixing them? Like multi-window, we still don't have that.
Yeah, I think it's actually an issue with Google. I think it's a Google by nature. Like that's what Google does by nature. I mean, Gmail's been in beta. Well, it's out of beta last couple of years now, but it was in beta for like 7 years. Like, I mean, that's the nature with Google. Like, they're not the master of anything but search engines, and they try so many things out, and they don't really finish anything. Like, they start here, do this, and they go away and do this, go away. Like Google Plus, like they started off with Google Buzz, and that sucked, didn't pick up any traction. So they went to Google Plus. Like, they haven't really refined anything too much. Then they try to integrate Google Plus with Photos. Now Photos is a standalone app, and
yep, they took it out.
Yeah, YouTube was Google Plus was YouTube, and they removed that. I mean, that's the nature of Google. I don't think it's Android's fault all the way. I just think that's how Google is. Like, they want to keep innovating, keep trying new things, but they don't polish things out. And you're right. By the time it does come to iOS, it's a lot more polished using it. I mean, when you use iOS, it is a different experience, and it is a more polished experience. Like everything does seem to work together nicely. Of course, you're handcuffed a bit, but sometimes I think Google should pull back the reins a little bit and take control of their own IS sometimes. Like I really think they should control their OS more than they do now to help with updates and things like that. But still, we still have phones that aren't getting updates. I mean, Motorola announced the 2014 Moto X weren't getting updates or anything like that. And then they changed their mind. And it's just like, this is too much of that going on, man. I mean, like when you buy a phone, just be in love with the way it is that day, because odds are you're not getting an update. And I think that's an indictment on Android as a whole. But I think it's more Google's fault because that's the nature of Google.
Very rarely, you're right. That OEMs are, unless you go with a super flagship phone that gets updated consistently, and even if you do get updated, more than likely you'll get one OS update. If you jump from one to the other, you won't get that many more. And I just wish we had a lot of things, just updated. Just to kind of let you know, also Ash was watching. So
nice.
I saw him posting on it. It's like, he said, "Do it, Kevin." So he's good. I guess good evening, Ash, because I think it's evening time for him. But we're almost at the end. I just wanted to, just want to say again, thank you for joining and, having the opportunity to chat with you. Next week, I'll be at the Android barbecue. I'm sure you're pretty packed with a lot of different things, a lot more content coming out. And, so hopefully the Droid Max 2 comes out and it's a good device. I'm sure maybe we'll see some hands-on. I think you predicted it almost. I want to say at one point I remember seeing something from you. You throw out a shout out there.
Yeah. I did predict it. I'm the Nostradamus of Android sometimes. Like I predict a lot of stuff because I see market trends and I see the way things are going. And yeah, I called that in August. I called that.
I remember that. Yeah, so that's why when I heard, I'm like, man, Kevin said that a while back.
I mean, it's just the way things go. It's just the market you see. I mean, Motorola made a really good phone and they said it's not coming to America. I'm like, oh, it'll be here eventually. I mean, it's an opportunity. Like, yeah, that's the thing. If Verizon wants an exclusive phone, Motorola is not going to build a new phone to do that. They're going to use a current phone they already have to do that, but it's new to us. So, I mean, to me, it just lined up. It's like, oh, okay, that makes complete sense. So
we'll see.
Yeah, and it already has the bigger battery, which defines a max. It's just everything lined up. I mean, it checked all the boxes of what a max is. So
I definitely will look forward to that. And again, you guys, obviously this is going to be reposted, available for you guys to check out later on. If you have any questions down the road, just post them. I want to say thanks to Ryrozezo, and again, thanks for Ash for watching and letting us know he's there. And for you, Kevin, for joining us this morning. And I'm going to go get ready for a really interesting run with that challenge. And hopefully I'm going to come back uninjured. It's going to be dirty and very cold from what I hear. There's an ice bath somewhere in one of those challenges. Yeah.
Enjoy.
That's how you start your weekend. Some people have breakfast. Some people see family. I go dunk myself in ice.
Cool.
Thank you again, Kevin, and best of luck. And I'm sure we'll talk more on Hangout in the near future. So,
all right, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. See you guys.
Yeah.